What's up, friends? Welcome to my channel where we're doing music covers, original music, album reviews, song reviews, reactions, tier lists, whatever the day calls for. If you like what you see here, please subscribe to the channel. If you have content on here, I'll subscribe to you as well. I am all about supporting up-and-comers on here. My original music can be found at robcary.bandcamp.com. I have one album to my name right now. It's called Communication. It is quite a few years old now, but I'm currently in the studio working on the follow-up to that album. It'll be called Ugly Living, and the first single to promote that album, it'll be called Save My Life Again, is coming out this Friday, September 20th. I'm super excited to finally get something out there to promote this album. Anybody who checks out my new song once it drops on Friday, I'm so appreciative. It's been a very busy time, and if there's one thing you can depend on in the music world when you are extremely busy, it's for bands that you've been a longtime fan of to all drop new material all in like a week's time, and that definitely happened last week with the new August Burns Red song, band I'm a longtime fan of. As I Lay Dying, doing a song with Alex Terrible and Tom Barber, just kind of piquing my interest more than anything else. I haven't listened to them in a while, but I do really want to hear that. The new It Dies Today song, and this new Whitechapel song that we're about to get into here, called A Visceral Retch. And I don't want to waste too much time here. I just want to get into this. I'm coming right off of that It Dies Today reaction. I just did that one. We're getting right into this one. I just want to say, I consider these guys to be deathcore legends. And from what I've heard about this new track here, it's going to be kind of like a return to the roots kind of track. And from what I've heard, that makes a certain sect of their fan base very happy. Apparently, there's a sect of their fans that didn't like the more melodic turn they took with their last two albums, The Valley and Kin. I thought they did a really good job putting their signature sound that they've developed over the years in with these more Tool-esque, atmospheric, brooding, sadder sounding kind of melodic sounds, with Phil really showing how not only is he amazing at screaming and getting all these words out in one breath during all these brutal parts, but the clean singing. Like, Phil has so much of my respect as a vocalist because he is not going to do anything until he is perfect at it. Everybody in this band is good, but as good as they all are, I just kind of focus on him the most a lot of the time when listening to these guys. And Our Endless War and Mark of the Blade, those were the ones that I thought were kind of like the entries in their discography. As far as where they're at right now, if they went back to their roots, like what it's seeming like they're going to do here, or if they just continue doing what they've been doing on their last two albums, The Valley and Kin, I would have been fine with either. I'm just ready for what's next. I think most of this band's discography has been pretty flawless, Let's not waste any more time here. Let's get into the brand new Whitechapel track, A Visceral Retch. Let's go. right, let's just get right into what I find to be the pros and the cons. And the cons are very minimal here. The cons in this song for me is there are some parts in the middle of the song and towards the end, before the final part, that do meander a bit. And I don't think this song needed to be as long as it was. There is some fat in the middle and towards the end that could be trimmed. But the venture back into traditional deathcore with the modern twist that they do today, I think was very tastefully done. It doesn't sound like it was forced for the sake of doing it, which was something that was kind of going through my mind before I turned this on. Was like, I hope they're not returning to their roots for the sake of it, because sometimes bands do stuff like that where they just want to go back to their original sound after like trying some other things just for the sake of doing it, and it sounds like that's not where their musical journey is truly taking them. It's either for the fans or just for the sake of proving to yourself that you can still do what you did in the early days. It doesn't matter. Like here, it did sound very natural, and towards the end there, it's just like, how low is he going to go? You know, as the breakdown just gets more and more sinister, and I love that part. And nothing is slow and fell down, man. Like his vocals are perfect, spot on. And I loved all the tremolo picking and thrash riffing over thrash beats and blast beats. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, and all that stuff was done very well. And that is something that is always going through my mind when writing my own music. It's not the best of what they do. I wouldn't consider this like one of their top tracks, but they have songs that I like less than this. They have songs that I like more than this. I would consider this to be kind of middle of the pack. And I've heard people say this would have fit in on their third album or this would have fit in on their first album. Like, I'm not hearing that. I don't think this would fit in on any of their past albums. There is still a different sound than the early days, and they are still a different band now to some extent. But they do channel some great nostalgia here and there in the early days of mid 2000s deathcore. But like I said, I don't feel like it's being done for the sake of doing it. And other than the song being a little bit too long, I think it's pretty good, man. I'll give it an 8.5. I'll listen to it again. If anything, maybe the self-titled. Maybe this sounds like kind of like the self-titled a little bit. And the self-titled Whitechapel album, it comes on my iPod at work at this point. Sometimes I'll like skip over it just because I have beaten that album into the ground. I've listened to it so many times. That one might be what I think is like their best one, self-titled one, because it has like the growth, but still like the old sound. And I don't know, it's either that one or This Is Exile, but I think this one is pretty good too. And I thought these more melodic ones they've done, The Valley and Kin, were done really well too. What was the most mainstream sounding, almost completely clean song track on The Valley? They got a music video. I think it was like about his mom or something. I'm blanking on the name right now, and I'm going to really beat myself up over that. Let me go look it up real quick. All right, I found it. It's Hickory Creek. I thought that song was extremely well done. I think they've been at the top of their game for these last couple albums, and this return to form sounds good too. I mean, like I said, I mean, the song could be shorter, but other than that, 8.5 out of 10 for me, and my ears open to what comes next. And I really hope to see you all Friday when I drop my new song. And until then, thanks for watching.